45 minutes after that, we're getting the New Zealand interest rate statement, with them expected to cut rates down to 4% from 5%. And unfortunately, we just haven't seen a surprise on the New Zealand interest rate decision in quite some time. They're expected to cut rates by 1, they cut by 1. They expect to cut rates by 1.5, they cut rates by 1.5. Now they're expected to cut rates by a full 1%. There are a few of the economists expecting a larger cut to 3.5%, so 1.5% cut. I'm going to say if they cut rates by more than expected, to 3.75% or lower, you're going to want to sell the New Zealand dollar, looking for about 40 pips to the downside, or buy a dip on New Zealand dollar, looking for it to bottom out and start to turn back up. Because if they're cutting by more than expected, the ultimate medium-term direction should probably be positive on New Zealand dollar. But the initial reaction should be negative. Okay, if that makes any sense. If they cut rates as expected to 4%, I think that should probably just stay out on that one. If they cut rates by less than expected to 4.25%, or if the rate ends up higher, they only cut by 0.5% or less, 0.75% or less, then you can go long for a quick trade on New Zealand dollar, or look to sell it as it tops out, because cutting by less than expected is going to be a negative signal for the New Zealand economy, and investors are probably going to look at it unfavorably. So you may see an initial bump up based on interest rate expectations, and then have it sell off as people are pissed, something like that. All right, guys. So that's my recommendations there for New Zealand interest rates. On the euro, same basic thing I talked about yesterday. Looks like it needs to move higher before it moves lower. My big bad favorite level is about 135. I think is a good place to sell. My best guess, it's about 132 right now. But as far as I can tell, it looks like it needs to go up about 300 pips and then down 1,000. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So, things look pretty similar to the way they did yesterday. So I'll pull up the charts after we have all the craziness from the FOMC statement and kind of look into it a little more in detail. But I think that's enough for today. All right, guys, take care. I'll speak to you folks tomorrow.